grandfather, Don Edwin Balsuri, that's my mom's father, hailing from Mantale, got into planting at Dakwari as a junior hand, and once he had sort of acquired some sort of experience, he, for whatever reasons, moved over to Balangoda and made Bikilia Estate his home as an assistant. And then very soon he bought his own estate. He called it Bethel Hill, being a devout Christian. It later on changed to Boscombe Estate. But according to the Ferguson's directory, he owned Boscombe Estate between 1911 and 1924. That makes it 13 years. Sadly, he sold it because he had 7 daughters and a son, and somebody said, look, if you are to give your so many daughters in marriage, Colombo is the best bet. So for whatever reasons, he left Balangoda and went out to Colombo. So planting and the various stories was very much been discussed in our family, especially by Mom. And then my brother got into planting, Sene, SK. He had also a profound influence on my decision eventually to become a planter. So I did. Soon after, straight from St. Thomas's Mount, got into James Swinley's. My first posting was at Corono Group, Kahavatta. I still remember that. 2,063 acres, Palmadura Tea and Rubber Company. It was a sterling company, and its leader was Eardley Arthur Herman, a former Thomian wicketkeeper. Absolutely straightforward, tough planter. I learned so much. Hands-on planter, amazing. Eardley Herman, as he was fondly known by his colleagues. The time I got into planting, a few others got in at the same time, and they have become my lifelong friends. My first cousin, Lester, whom I know as Shiran Seneviratne, also joined on the same day, 1st July 1969. Jude Ratnayaka got on to Opathe Estate, and then Ralph Da Silva, he also commences planting at the same time at Belangura, but he went across to Australia and doing exceedingly well. Some of the planters during that time, the managers were people like Alan Raffel on Palmadura, Shirley Rodrigo on Bellandura, Stanley De Silva on Opathe. Stanley had, apart from my friend Ratnayaka, they had people like, I'll remember those names. The SDs at that time were Mohan Manigatunga, Nimal Amarasekara, Winnie D. Rex, that's the name I was trying to remember. So a host of others. Well, for early 1971, I left Corono Group and joined Vitals. There too under a legendary Ranjan Vijayaratne. What an awesome planter he was, and eventually he became Minister of Foreign Affairs, etc. Brilliant planter. And I learned so much from him, to be decisive, attention to detail, and be communicative. He used to communicate with all the estate talabas in Tamil flawlessly. And something I had earlier thought that we should be speaking to workers through an open window in an office. Not so, Mr. Ranjan Vijayaratne. We used to all sit together in this huge table, and he used to get all the talabas, all the assistant superintendents also, and then listen to them, listen to their grievances, and the minutes are out, literally in 24 hours. And that's the same tactic he used when dealing with us. He had DC Yatavara as the senior SD, Sheriff Falil, Manil Dimel, Jnana Samartunga, and myself. So when he used to do his field rounds, you could be sure by afternoon the report comes, very much sort of a VA's report. These are the shortcomings, these are the things that you have to do. So you learn so much as a result to be decisive and attention to detail. Unfortunately, soon after Seneviratne went to Colombo to take up a director's post in Vitals, he was succeeded by Brian Rathwate. And soon after that, the estate changed hands. It was bought over in London by Dusty Miller. And then we were given the option of either remaining with Vitals or joining the new agency house, which was Colombo Commercial Company. But then we all opted to remain with Vitals, and so I went to Gonapitiya Group Kandapura, Claude Abewardena. And from Gonapitiya it was Brunswick Muscadia, easily one of the best estates at that time. I had to visit Brunswick just a few months ago as a visiting agent, more about it later. From Brunswick to Delta, there was a Tomian fast bowler, I remember J.K.C. Gunasekar, who became my boss. And then he was succeeded by Victor St. George. That's the time the estates were taken over. And then I went to Mooler Estate, Everhatter. My boss at that time was Jeeva Kathapattu, who's now chief consultant and agricultural specialist for the ministry. Once Jeevaka also went down to Colombo to take up a chairman's post, I automatically succeeded him and went on as a superintendent. But lots of other seniors didn't like this Podian in charge of Mulu at that time. So I moved over to Hagala Madulkale, just below the Knuckles range, beautiful country. I handed over to another iconic person, Steve Morel, and from there to Petiyagala in Balangoda. I was there for 5 years, did a lot for that place, and I still remember getting yields of 1,900 consistently. Petiyagala had so much of history thanks to A.S. Rasanayagam. From there to Haupe, and from Haupe to Hapugas, and then the largest plantation in the country. My days in the Uva, I must say there were perhaps 50% of the planters at that time were British planters. I still remember Alan Harper on Rugatanda, Roger Somerville on Queenstown, Mike Clark on Elton, Peter Baxter, Gonacale, John Woods, he was our visiting agent, St. James. Then there was another, that's Duncan Scobie, he was on Glenalpine. So many planters. In fact, my first cousin, Nihal Jayatunga, who was an engineer in the Uva area between 1965 and 1980, he used to always talk about all these wonderful English personalities who did so much. We could have learned so much from them, because I can still remember when I was scraping, Early Herman casually mentioned this at the lunch table to Jimmy Craig, the visiting agent, and said, this young man, he has come over to study planting and he cannot speak Tamil. I thought they just meant it as a joke, but soon after lunch, Jimmy Craig came up to me and said, young man, I would like to have a few words with you outside. He said, look, we came all the way from England. We learnt both your languages, Sinhala and Tamil. Why the hell can't you learn Tamil too? So I said, sir, I'm trying to. There's nothing called trying to. Either you know Tamil or you don't know Tamil. I said, look here, young man. When I come back in 3 months' time, I am going to initiate a conversation with you in Tamil. And if you cannot answer me back in Tamil, you can take your summons, that is your stuff, and get on to Vatapatha station. I still call it Vatapatha station, and get the hell out of here. So I took it literally. I kept on, writing whatever I heard in Sinhala and then trying to translate, and thank God for them. There were some compelling reasons for us to learn Tamil, and I thank people like Mr. Jimmy Craig and all those English planters who set an example, who inspired us.